Hey, I'm Cam.
And I'm Jess.
We are a husband and wife team living as a family of 5 in a trailer on a piece of land that we hope to build a house on.
After financing the land and interest rates going up, we are too poor to get the house loan.
We are changing our mindset, establishing small businesses,
And working harder than we ever have before.
to achieve true spiritual, mental, and physical wealth.
We are risking it all and bringing you along as we try all our crazy business ideas and show you how to do it.
Or not to do it.
You'll get to see what fails, flops, or sticks.
A true rags to riches story. Welcome to the Cam and Jess Show.
So, Cam, what's your first goal for us as we start this journey of physical wealth, but also changing our mindset?
Yeah. Well, I guess the first thing would be your first $100,000, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what people talk about. Achieving that first $100,000 of breaking free from the rat race. And it's easy to hear it. It's easy to say it. It's a whole lot harder to figure out how to do it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to do in this is really give somebody that rags to riches story. To really give somebody, hey, it can work. This is how we did it. Obviously, conditions are different for other people, right? There's different things that can come along. There's different opportunities for different people, different skill sets for different people. And so we want to give you kind of a realistic viewpoint of us and how we do it. What about you?
Yeah, I would say very much the same type of goals. I mean, I feel like we've been running ourselves ragged for years.
Right.
And, we don't have a whole lot to show for it.
Yeah, we're tired of it. I mean...
Yeah, I'm tired of not having enough time to spend with my kids. I'm tired of just getting by. I'm tired of, just having to constantly budget the groceries and just always having to cut corners and
sacrifice constantly.
Buy the $1 toilet paper at Dollar General, whatever it is. I mean,
right. Yeah.
We're broke. We've all been there. Yeah,
we're broke.
We're working very hard.
Yeah.
We both work full time, you could say, homeschool the kids. We have values. We try to homestead. We're trying to save money, eat healthy. And...
Yeah, I mean, it does cost more to eat healthy and try to make good choices for our family. There's certain things we don't want to compromise on, right? We don't want to compromise on our values. We don't want to compromise on our health within reason, right? I mean, there's always got to be that limit of reason. But we're doing what we can with what we have, but yet it's not enough.
Right. I'm just physically tired, emotionally tired, mentally tired.
Yeah.
And we've also recently come across some different ways of thinking about how to change your mindset. Like, we don't have to be a martyr. We don't have to be poor.
I think that's kind of taught a lot, right? And at least in the circles that we grew up in, they're like, oh, it's okay, you can suffer. We were missionaries for a while and had to come off the field due to health reasons. But, it was kind of like that martyr mindset that we were shown. And, I mean, sure, sacrifices have to be made. But, on the other hand, I know there's some other things now at this point that we could have done better, right?
Yeah, looking back, I would have done some different financial decisions.
Right. Because, from a biblical point of view, God doesn't really necessarily want you broke. Not that we're preaching like a prosperity gospel or anything like that, but we'll be looking into different things in the Bible, what the Bible has to say about true wealth and things like that. And it isn't just physical wealth, right? It's spiritual, it's mental health. Right now, we've been working a lot on our mental health. I think our spiritual health has been pretty good.
Yeah.
For a lot of things. And that's a lot more than other people can say. And that's something we have to look at, that abundance around us that we have spiritually, and be thankful for that. But, right now we're really working on the mental side of it, because we've, really in a sense been programmed. I mean, it's not really the right word, but, just...
Like, me personally, I always have this mindset of, oh, I would like to do this, but we can't afford this. We'll just never be one of those people that could you know, like give the kids scuba diving lessons, or just any dream that you can think of.
Any little dream.
Yeah, that you might want to do that's cost a little bit more money. I always just put it out of my mind because I think that I'll never be able to achieve that. I'm not one of those people.
Right.
But I really think that the Lord's been changing our mindset.
Yeah, we've been exposing ourselves to books and you know, other social media and stuff out there that is encouraging that mindset. And it takes time. It really does take time because, you know, for a while now, I've been driving by certain places that are really nice and going, you know, kind of like...
Oh, I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I'm not, but I should be, right? I know they work hard for it. And, I mean, some people don't work hard for the wealth that comes to them, but easy come, easy go, right? There's plenty of people out there that have worked very hard for what they have, and good for them, right? They should be able to enjoy that. And instead of us looking at that like, oh, you know, you jerk or whatever because you're successful.
I'll never be able to achieve that.
Right. It's just the wrong mindset. You got that poor man's mindset, and you got to think a lot bigger. And it does. It really starts with that mental thing.
And that's part of the purpose of this channel is we're taking you along to see all of our mistakes, our failures, our successes, hopefully. I mean, I'm sure that the Lord will bless us. We're going to find something that works, and we're going to show you our successes, but you'll probably more than likely see some failures as well. But,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. You know, we don't mind showing a failure. But, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have great, successful channels and things like that. They're doing very well for themselves. But what about the backstory, right? And I know they came from a lot less in the beginning, but we want to show it from the beginning. We're sticking our neck out there and risking that. Right.
So just a little backstory, where we are right now, where we're hoping to go. But we're currently, we searched for about 5 years for a piece of property with a house or some type of structure that we could even fix up on it and move on to within our budget, and it just wasn't happening. And the kids were getting older, and, you know, we had like, what, a quarter acre or half an acre or so, and we had gardens and chickens and
that we were renting,
rabbits that we were
close to a busy road, and that wears on me. I mean, I was raised in the country. I'm used to it being a little quieter, and there's that busy road. Our dog got hit on the road. You know, our kids were young near the road, and it eats at you after a while. And you know, some people they're there and they can't change that, but we wanted to.
So after searching and not finding a suitable place within our budget, we found 28 acres that we could buy within our budget with no land. It did have it did have septic, but no land. It was land, but no house is what I mean to say.
Right. It had some cross fencing, you know, it had some infrastructure. It has a pole barn that we now have our trailer in. And, you know, some cross fencing, had septic, had it had electricity brought back there. It's a long driveway, which we're working on right now. But, you know, it's ours, and it's beautiful, it's peaceful, and it's kind of a way for us to just escape, at least mentally, some of the things that are going on out there in the world.
Right. So we bought the land. We bought a travel trailer to put on the land, which was the simplest, fastest solution to move out to the land.
We bought that with cash.
Bought it with cash.
We've been saving up.
We do have a loan on the land.
Yep.
That we're paying off. And then our next step, we moved the rabbits and the chickens and the dogs and moved everything out to the land with the travel trailer. And we've been living there with 3 kids in a 40-foot trailer. But one of the next steps that we're hoping to do is to build a house. And the house we're hoping to build is kind of a barn-dominium style. It's going to be a shop house, and it's going to be a metal building, and we've already looked into it, and we did everything we're supposed to do. We had a price list. We put together the cost of everything. We did all of our homework. We went to the bank. did
That's
all
with
of
us
our-
doing. We're
did-
doing a lot of the work ourselves.
Right, we did all of the elevation plans. We're going to be our own GC, but the problem was it was going to cost around, $198,000, which for the square footage, it only ended up being about $33 per square foot.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is,
including porches. It has a wraparound porch, and those do eat up.
I mean, that is everything we would hope for
Right.
with that
Right.
price.
Right.
But, we went to the bank and gave them everything they needed, and we're $100,000 over budget, basically. And that's with us doing almost all of the work ourselves, because you have a handyman background. You do some of that.
Yeah.
And that was just very discouraging. And it was down to the point where we could either...
But we really didn't feel discouraged at the time.
No.
Because at this point, right, we had been doing a lot of our own changing our mindset and stuff like that. We just kind of looked at each other and went, well, we got to make $100,000
in front of the people at the bank.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, haha, when we all like to make $100,000.
So that's our first goal. Make $100,000.
Yep.
Right?
And I mean, it's a worthy goal. We need a house.
Mm-hmm.
We need to live in something.
Yep.
So that is our first goal.
Yeah. And, the goal too is to develop businesses that can, with hard work, obviously, keep that going, right? And keep the income coming in to support ourselves, to gain more time, buy more time back, because time is very precious.
Yep. So part of the issue now is we have to continue on with all of our current jobs, all of our current work, keep paying all the bills that we're barely getting by on,
Yeah.
and be starting new ventures to make this $100,000 and
Make it a
eventually
reality.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the first step? Now that our mindset's changed, I guess that would be the first step. But what's your first physical action that you think we...
Establishing some businesses. I mean, right now I do work part of the week as a handyman, doing a lot of repairs and fixing wood rot and things like that. And then also during the week, that same week, the other part of my week is we have a microgreen business where we grow small baby plants. We grow that in the house that we're renting. Before,
We're still renting the house.
right? 'Cause it is cheap to rent, very cheap to rent where we are, and so we're using that for the business and a place to do laundry and store some of our stuff.
Well, we were going to have to rent another building to put the microgreens
Right.
in, and it was just cheaper and simpler to keep this house and just rent it for the microgreens.
Mm-hmm. And we've had that business since 2019, and so we've been
Through COVID.
through COVID, and obviously it did slow down, but we kept things going. We've got very good relationships with a bunch of the chefs in the nearby city and some individuals and stuff like that. And, the business is doing well, but a lot of the profit that we'd be getting from it is being put into keeping this place here. So we're not getting
It costs
a lot of
money to
Yeah.
run a business.
and things have obviously gone up.
Well, the
Right.
point the business is that we have to either really expand it
Mm-hmm.
and put a lot of money into it, or just keep going on the way we are
Right.
and pursue something else in addition to it.
But we feel like we've hit most of the major restaurants around. We also don't really have much more space to put it in right now.
Right.
We've got 2 whole big rooms designated to it, and so we just don't have much more
Well,
space.
that
We're
was
kind
a
of
big perk of getting the shop house. 'cause
right.
It was
It was going to give us more room. So we're kind of at we've hit a bit of a ceiling physically in the business where it can't expand like we would like to be able to make more money, make the business more worthwhile. But we also see some issues moving forward, right, where, it's going to be harder to scale that. There's not the scalability in the business is somewhat limited. And it's just part of our, educating ourselves and all this stuff. So while we do enjoy it a lot for the most part, we want to see more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not meeting. It's not
enough.
meeting.
It's not enough.
It's meeting our needs, but we need more to expand the business and expand our living situation.
Yeah, well, that's just it, though. It's not really meeting our needs if we can't afford a house.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So.
All right, so what ideas do you have to move forward? You have the mindset. Now what actions are we looking at taking?
Looking for opportunities around us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
We're creating opportunities.
We're creating opportunities. We do have several business ideas that some of them we are currently working on. This obviously is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we really have quite a few things that we want to get into in this. And I hope it can be very valuable to you folks. I hope it can be a fun journey to be along with us, and that we can get some great interviews, and that we can take you along on our journey.
Yep. We're going to be walking you through every specific idea we have and how to execute it and
Mm-hmm.
the exact steps that we have done. One of them is starting the YouTube channel and building a persons of interest, as you will.
Mm-hmm. Building a
And-
brand.
Yeah, building a brand.
Yep.
And then the other business idea we're pursuing right now is the Amazon FBA.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping to find products to sell on there and help to turn some revenue around with that, which
We have it all set up.
we have it. We have our seller's account, and I'm going to walk you through how to set up your seller's account. We're finding our product. We're currently finding our product right
Mhm.
now, researching our
Mhm.
product.
Mhm.
And we'll let you know if the product succeeds, if
Fails,
it fails, flops, great.
Yep.
But setting up the Amazon seller's account was somewhat involved. It's not hard, but you do have to get all of the right
Yeah.
steps to not get rejected.
Right. Amazon's pretty finicky about it.
So-
And we didn't have any problems. We did do it right.
We did. We were accepted within 24 hours.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, we crossed all our T's, dotted all of our I's, had it all done right. We're going to walk you through how to do that in a future video.
Mhm.
Another thing that we're going to be doing is,
Well, I mean, I have an idea for an app that I saw come up as an opportunity. That's still very much in a baby stage. We've got to do a lot more research around the whole idea, see if there's something that we can do, like through Bubble, or do we need to hire that out,
Right.
or what? But
keeping in mind we have no background in
Right.
like
That kind of techie
computer
thing.
programming or anything,
Yeah.
but there is ways for regular people like us to
Mhm.
build apps and such like that. We do have we've established some relationships with some restaurant owners / chefs, and we're hoping to use that to like test a beta version of the app.
Right. And it's, kind of build it off things that we're already involved in, people we're already involved in, network through them in order to get that out and be hopefully a help.
Right. So ideas for the channels is going to include things like walking you through all these specific business ideas we have and how to execute them, exactly what steps to take,
Mhm.
kind of a tutorial, if you will.
Yeah.
And then some other business ideas are just interviewing some key persons of interest in our path that
Yeah.
maybe aren't well known
Right.
to everybody,
Yep.
but they have been successful in their own right.
Yeah. I called them the unsung heroes, and our plan is to do a playlist of them where we go and interview some very successful men that, like she said, aren't well known. But we know them. They should be well known. They're the unsung heroes. They're the men and women that made America, really,
They're the ones
over
who
the
are,
last several years.
Yeah.
They're older, and their story needs to be told. We have a lot to learn from them. Some of them are my mentors, and I think it'd be good to tell the world the story.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be going into what the Bible has to say about wealth, riches, being poverty, all that stuff. And that'll be another kind of playlist that we'll be working on.
I don't necessarily think that God called us to be poor,
Right.
but more wealthy and blessed and rich, just as Job, Abraham.
And there's a lot of biblical examples about it. We'll go into them. They'll be a lot of fun. We'll also be going into some of the history of money and wealth and things in the world to give a bit more of a background on why we're here, why things are the way they are, and so forth.
You mean we personally or our economy? What do you mean?
Well, I mean more the economy, yeah. I mean, us personally, we're affected by it, right? But, yeah. We'll be getting into generational wealth.
That's another one of our goals.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes, yeah, and that is a big part of what has driven us and helped change our mindset. So we see how it was like for our parents, right? When we were growing up, when young children in our households, it was different back then, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't such a struggle.
I mean, we weren't wealthy by any means,
No.
but we also could survive on one income if we
Back
had
then,
to.
yeah. I think it was kind of barely at that point,
Right.
even, but of course now it's come to a point where it's very challenging to live off one income.
Very
I'm not saying you can't do it. There's some people that do it. We, can't say that we've done it because she works really hard all the time. But, we are homeschooling the kids and stuff too. So there's kind of a division there. But that's just not something we want to sacrifice our kids to, the conditioned learning system out there. Right.
For more success in life.
Right. To be able to give them some generational wealth, not just to hand things over to them, teach them.
Teach them how to work, teach them how
Spiritually,
business,
mentally, physically.
teach them how money works.
Yeah. And start giving them some responsibility so that they can learn through experience. So, we will also, in the show, we'll be getting into raising kids and that, walking them through some of this stuff and teaching, passing on that generational wealth mindset and everything else that goes with it. And obviously there's going to be a lot of mindset, personal development that we'll be getting into as well.
Yeah, there's been a whole journey that's changed our mindset to start trying to pursue a wealth, I guess.
Right. Right. So join us, right?
Let us know if there's anything else that you would like to have us to hear about with our story or have us talk about.
Yeah. We're excited to do this. We really want to add some value to the community out there and to hopefully be a blessing and a help.
Show you what it looks like as a normal person who's struggling to get by on a journey to a better life for us and our kids and I don't feel like our dreams are having a house and some property is too much to ask, but
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be for anybody.
Right. But that's where we are. So now we're being forced to pursue a different mindset and some different things and some other businesses.
Yeah.
And we'll take you along for the journey. If you want to follow along and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, you'll be notified. Every time we put out a video, we're going to be keeping you updated on what fails, what sticks, and what successes we have, and walking you along the journey and showing you how to do each of these different business ventures.
Yep. So until next time, take care.